All right, now I'm
Oh,
recording. I didn't record any of that. I was because you were. I didn't know what you were just like. We're starting now. We're starting now. Betty, you
yeah.
look beautiful.
Thank you.
You were half dressed until like 2 seconds ago. So what was I gonna do?
Well,
Not
we
that kind of
got
radio.
our brand new porn channel.
Yeah. Okay, so where'd Gambit go? Did he leave?
He's in the other room.
Okay, he's got to turn your sound down. You're a little hot.
I'm a little hot.
You're a little hot.
We have hot sound, dear. What do you mean? It's a
Well,
little hot. It's
well,
too.
Betty's a little closer to the microphone than you are. So can you turn down her whatever is collecting her sound a little bit? Can you?
I can try. I don't know if I can turn down mic sensitivity from here though. Hold
You should be able to turn down volume somewhere in there.
The
on.
arrow
Wrong. Uh,
by the microphone, but I could be wrong. I'm wrong.
audio settings.
Yeah, audio settings, and then just pull that bar down a little bit.
No, wait, input volume. All right.
Betty's just loud today.
So try it 75. See if that works. Say something.
Testing 1, 2.
Way better. Thank you very much.
Good.
It's getting all this distortion. So
Yeah.
Well, that's probably me.
It's also because
Betty being loud,
I'm
never.
distorted, dear.
I know. So we have to turn down the sound of Betty. Mishi, is that how you say your name?
Yeah.
Hi,
Hi, Marla. It's
Meshe.
nice to meet you. We've never
Look
actually.
at us all on the same screen.
Yeah.
And
Hi,
it's an
Marla.
international program.
Who's
Are
Yep.
you still in? Are you still in paradise, dear?
Oh God, no! I wouldn't be on this podcast from in the States right now.
So you're back from paradise.
Back in Canada, yep.
Good. One of the two democratic countries on the North American continent.
And who's our fourth guest? Who's our fourth person?
This is our 2 o'clock.
So well, I have a screen that says Michelle's Fathom Note Taker.
Oh, yeah, that's my AI note taker.
Oh, I see. Okay, fine. That's fine.
One sec.
I
I'll
just
get
thought it
rid
was
of it.
another human being.
Um, I gotta put okay so this crazy thing. Hold
There
on.
she goes.
Okay. I just didn't know if I was waiting for somebody else.
Nope, just me.
There. Now my screen is clear.
Okay.
All right.
So Mishi, it's very nice to meet you. We're going to do all of our stuff around the interview, like welcoming you, introducing you. But Betty's going to start this off, and I, I, I am a listening, sometimes interjecting, trying to organize how we're
She
going.
does all the hard stuff and I get to play.
Sounds good.
I don't know that that's true. Betty's doing all the hard stuff because Betty welcomes you here, invited you here. So let me just ask you, how do you know Betty?
Oh, are we on camera?
Yes.
Or are we on record?
We're on record, so everything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
Well, not down here. Only if Canada goes south.
Can
we
never go
met.
south.
We met the late. I'd say it was the late aughts in at a camp out, an adult themed camp out. That's. I'm not going to go too deep into that topic on a podcast.
Can I?
Please do. Please go as
All
deep as you
right.
want. Go as
We
deep as you want.
actually met at a BDSM campout
Oh.
where I was the coffee service because they had no electricity, and it was part of what I did when I had Temple Caffeina. And Temple Caffeina, for the most part, was making coffee for the Society for Creative Anachronism events in the area because electricity was not invented back in the 1600s. And everyone in the Northwest still wanted their espresso. So I used mocha pots, which is anyone in Europe would understand what they are, and most people in the United States would understand they're a way to make espresso coffee on your stovetop. And I used propane for the heat, not a fire pit. And I had air pots with hot water, hot coffee, and milk to temperature. So when I got a stainless steel Belgian milk frother. So I would brew the coffee, throw it in the air pot, heat the water to boiling, throw it in the air pot, heat the milk to temperature, throw it in the air pot. And when I had all my reservoirs full, I actually tested it. I could make a mocha faster than a machine.
Wow.
By hand. And for those people who missed the steam wand sound, I would imitate the steam wand sound with my mouth.
Let's hear it.
And I would usually do that because I would start service at 6 a.m. Everyone else was still asleep in their tents. So I would imitate the steam wand for the first couple people I served. And the sound of the steam wand for a Northwesterner is like an alarm clock. So I knew if I did the steam wand, people would think coffee and come get their coffee.
Let's hear the steam wand.
You want to hear it? I don't have my false teeth glued in today, but I'll try to do my best.
Hope they won't go flying out.
I was hurrying with my makeup, so the teeth were last. It's kind of like, here's what I'm doing to froth the milk.
That was the best steam wand ever. I'm so impressed.
That would be the steam wand for a latte. The steam wand for a cappuccino was longer because you have to froth the milk better.
There's more froth, yes.
Yeah.
Completely makes sense. Thank you for sharing that. That's
You're
very
welcome.
So,
a woman of amazing talents.
So when you met Meshe was an attendee.
Yes. Yes. And we became fast friends. Yeah. And we've known each other then for well over 20 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. For people who are listening on this podcast, you have to know that Meshe looks like they're about 27.
Thank you.
I don't even want to ask because that would be rude because you never ask a person, but still
let's put it this way. We were at Betty's show. My mom and I went to Betty's show on Thursday in Bellingham, and my mom and Betty figured out that they're about a year apart in age.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're in the same genre of age.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
Chronologically, we're not talking about how we really are and how we really feel, because I don't feel my age at all.
I'm not even going to go there. So Meshe, tell us about yourself. How did you get to, well, you were in the States for a while and now you're back at your homeland. So tell us about your journey.
Well, my family's always crossed the border quite a bit. They bought a place in Maple Falls, Washington, back when I was about a year old. And we've been going there nearly every weekend since then. It's just been a nice little vacation place, and made lots of friends down there, like Betty and among many others. I've traveled all over the US and made lots of friends. But with some of the things that have been going on down in the States, I no longer feel safe to travel there. So I've been helping out with the cost of the place down there, and I don't feel like I can cross the border anymore. So we're putting our place up for sale after over 4 decades.
Wow. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So do you work for a living or are you just independently wealthy?
I run my own business, small business. I had like 12 employees before COVID hit, and that dwindled down to just 2 of us. But yeah, we're still cracking along, and we help companies get known out on the internet, do their marketing, ads, email marketing, that kind of thing.
Nice.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely not independently wealthy.
So what else, Betty? What else do you want? What our listeners want to know about Meshe?
Well, I think Meshe can give us a perspective of why we don't have our Canadian neighbors coming down here better than anyone, because specifically for Whatcom County, she and her family have been a part of our economy, including owning property in Paradise for nearly 40 years. And now, because of our current leadership nationally, I use leadership questionably, I will not be able to invite my Canadian friends like Meshe down for dinner because I will be jeopardizing their safety. And it all boils down to the way our current leadership is putting Project 2025 into operation. And I thought it would be a wonderful idea on the podcast to hear what's going on from the Canadian perspective. And also understand that most business owners in Whatcom County understand that this is horrible for them economically. Many don't. So this will help them understand. Did that make sense?
Yes.
I'm trying to stay calm, but I'm very upset about the way things are going right now. Specifically recently, within the last week or two, there's been more, what would the word be? Chilling rhetoric coming from our capital. And yes, here in Washington State, we have great protections from our state government. We have positive protection in our county and city government here in Bellingham. But other people in the country don't. And to lose our Canadian family is
Heartbreaking.
It's
And
heartbreaking.
the financial impact is outrageous.
The financial impact is outrageous, but the heartbreak is also affecting every citizen of Whatcom County that has family or friends in British Columbia. Every one of us. And there is only one reason that this is happening, and it's the current leadership federally. That's it. In my humble opinion, the buck stops at the door of the Heritage Foundation, which was the author of Project 2025, which is being put into play as we sit and talk on our podcast.
So a little bit of background. I'm trans. I transitioned, there you go, over 20 years ago before I met Betty. And I have throughout that whole time, because my family has crossed the border so much, I crossed the border before I transitioned hundreds of times. And now I've crossed the border hundreds of times since. My ID is all changed. As far as the Canadian government is concerned, I'm a female. That's, a done question up here, hopefully. We have our politicians trying things too, but the US government, the Customs and Border Protection, they have that information in their database. And within Project 2025, there is a major concerted effort to eradicate the existence of trans people. I don't think that they've explicitly said that that's a violent eradication, but they want to, and they practically have, removed the definition from every federal source.
There is no letter T for transgender in any government website any longer since the president signed a declaration saying that transgenderism is un-American.
It wasn't that
That's
one of
attached.
his first executive orders, like on his
Yes.
first day? Yeah.
And as soon as he did that, the word T from LGBT was removed from every government website.
Yeah. So there's that eradication. Now the eradication is happening on not on removing healthcare from trans individuals. They've already done that to the military and the veterans in the last defense appropriations bill. And now with the current budget that's got the government shut down right now, they're actually trying to do it through Medicare and Medicaid as well. There's actually provisions in the current bill that is being opposed by the Democrats that would take away healthcare for trans people using Medicaid and Medicare. The thing that really got me worried, and actually really worried for all trans people in the United States, is a few weeks ago, and I'm not going to mention the event that happened a few weeks ago, but somebody was shot, and they were immediate. The assassin, I'm going to say it because that person was assassinated. They were saying that the assassin was under transgender ideology, or they did the killing because of transgender ideology, and that is very dangerous rhetoric. It's moved on to the Heritage Foundation released a memo saying that they wanted the FBI to classify trans people as nihilistic violent extremists. JD Vance was on a podcast and talked about it as well. The Trump has actually recently put out an executive order that labels people who are anti-Christian, have transgender ideology, an anti-American, as violent extremists. And those moves are just to make it a lot easier for them to track down, surveil, and make life a lot harder for trans people to exist.
A little
Now,
clarification. Excuse
sorry?
me. It was not a declaration like the first one. It wasn't a presidential edict. It was a memorandum for our National Security Council, our national security apparatus. I can pull it up on my phone if we need to. But you're right about that. And it's worded so vague that if you oppose this government in any way, they can use that memorandum to, at the very least, investigate you. Okay, continue. I apologize.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys know what's going on with this part, but Customs and Border Protection and Homeland Security have also been directed to monitor the social media of people entering the country. And that's to look for organized, basically anything that the government is worried about, which they've spelled out in that declaration. So Antifa has somehow been called a terrorist organization. Trans people, anti-Christian, anybody who's against Trump, anybody who's against Charlie Kirk, for example. And so as a Canadian who wants to come into the US, I can't actually even talk about things on my social media without the risk of being detained. And I don't know if you guys know about it, but earlier on this year, there was a Canadian actress who flew into San Diego.
Yeah.
And as she always had, she flew down into San Diego to renew her permit or work permit. And they detained her and they put her in an ICE facility, and she was locked there for 2 weeks, even though she had the money to get back to Canada.
Yeah.
Nobody could give her an answer. That's a risk I'm not willing to take.
This reminds me of schoolyard bully tactics
Only a little bit
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah.
done by adults. Anyway, I'll shut up.
Don't shut up.
Agitated.
Don't shut up.
I'm agitated.
I know.
I know. I'm definitely gonna miss all of my friends and family down there, but it's
Okay, we cannot assume this is a forever thing. We cannot
No.
believe that. We cannot live that way. You know, like we did during COVID, these are interesting times we're in. We'll do what we need to do to stay safe, and then things will we'll get over it, we'll calm down, we'll get a new administration in, whatever it takes, so that you can come back. I mean, I have to believe that. I would not I don't I can't live like that. I can't live thinking that this is how it's going to be forever. I won't. I just, maybe I'm a Pollyanna and I just believe, you know, the inherent good, like me and Anne Frank, you know, that deep down people are good and they're going to get over themselves and it's going to be okay. Just hang in there.
The pendulum swings both ways. Things go too hard to the left, then they go too hard to the right.
Yeah.
And at least that's how people feel about the way the pendulum swings. But there's something different in this one, and it almost reminds me of McCarthyism.
Yes.
Where the scary thing about this one to me is that it's not just, I don't just have to worry about this administration. I have to worry about this administration and its media machine, the way that it influences people in its base, and they're calling trans people violent and violent extremists. That information is going to stick in people's heads, whether it's true or not. That just makes it more dangerous to be trans in the United States. And that will stick around longer than this administration.
We have our work cut out down here to stand up, vote whenever we have an opportunity to, and to not just be silent while this goes down. Hopefully, we'll be able to do that. It's unfortunate that history does not bode in our favor as far as getting rid of a what's the word? Fascist government once it gains power. It takes longer than our election cycle.
Mm-hmm.
There has never been, as far as I've been able to tell, a fascist government that was removed from power by the ballot box. So that's what we're up against. We'll have to create a first time if we're going to get rid of what's going on right now. Now, our president was caught saying that, you know, in his mind, he doesn't, well, I'm not going to say that because it's not factual yet, but rumors are abound. So Marla, feel free to edit a whole bunch of stuff out of what I'm saying.
You mean so that we don't get cut off the air? So we don't get Jimmy Kimmel? We don't want to get Jimmy Kimmel.
Well, look at his popularity now.
Yeah, that would make you very popular.
Publicity is publicity as long as they get our names right.
I know.
But I am devastated. I never thought the country that I thought was a beacon of hope for all would fall into this pit so quickly.
So you mentioned something that we have never gotten out of a fascist government.
The fascist governments that have, it's never been by the ballot box.
When was the last fascist government we had?
Well, let's see. Not us. U.S. has never had a fascist
Okay,
government. We're talking
so
about other governments around the world.
okay, so this is the first time we've had anything like this in this country.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I
In
feel
other
that it's
countries, it's always been
fair.
an overthrow.
I
Yes, I
feel that
agree.
it's fair that what we're seeing right now is the result of a fascist government. I feel that's fair to call our leaders right now fascist, as far as federal, the president, the vice president, and his administration. And I'll tell you why. First, in order to get hired for a federal job right now, one of the things you have to do is convince them that you support the president's agenda.
Are they hiring?
Yes.
Oh, they're
But in
Oh,
order
yeah.
to get hired, you have to swear not well, also your oath to the Constitution, I guess. I don't know if they've taken that out
that's
yet,
just, I know.
but you also have to swear that you support the president's agenda. And those who don't support the president's agenda are being fired.
Yeah.
We've seen that recently. So when all you have is yes men, how are you going to change? Does that make sense?
Mhm. So I am not as politically astute as you are, Betty, and for that I
Now,
really blame myself. Um,
remember though, Marla, I can be wrong too.
well, but you have a lot more facts at your fingertips than I do. I just remember growing up during a very Republican era, and yeah, it's different now, but
Yeah,
social media is different now. We know more now. We don't know what we didn't know back then.
that's true.
So we don't know that a lot of this stuff wasn't happening back then as well. I mean, we just know everything now. We know too much. It's information overload and it's overwhelming.
Yeah, that's true.
And a lot of people that I've talked to have become so desensitized to it that they're off social media. They don't know when anything's happening anywhere in the world. And I always thought social media was just that it was social, not political media, but social media. Like, let's go have a party and come to my event and hang out with, it's so and so's birthday. But now it's become this whole, like, not, I don't want to say agenda, but self-fulfilling prophecy of all the things that we're seeing, all the negativity that we're seeing in the world. It's overwhelming. And I don't, yeah.
I just fascinating the way that you're saying that, because actually, after I went and saw Betty the other night, I had an interesting insight, and it was eh, there's like a gravity to the situation, at least with trans people. Like I talked to a couple of friends, like really close friends, while I was down in Washington this last time, and it seems like there is just too much chaos going on down there. Like when I first talked to Betty, and we talked about why I wasn't coming down anymore. Betty was telling me about, the border guards, like their local good boys that, um, they've they've marched in the pride parades and such. But from an outside perspective, they're still federal agents.
Sure.
So whatever rule comes from up top, they need to follow or walk off the job.
Right.
And another person was just kind of seemed to blow off the issue, even though they have a trans sister. And what I'm seeing is like the economy is having problems. People are afraid. Everybody's being thrown off balance. There's just chaos. Like every news site, the news cycle changes by the hour, and there's new like, go pay attention to this thing, pay attention to that thing. Like you can't sit there and actually focus on what's actually going on. And
It changes
see
every
like
second, every 5 seconds.
Yeah. And you guys are in the middle of it. We can kind of see it from up here, but I'm pretty sure that you guys are being force-fed chaos to keep you off balance.
Yeah.
That's accurate.
It's been like every day there's some other horrible political, apolitical, community, a horrible event where a shooter, a fire, an explosion. I mean, every time I turn around, there's something else on the news. And then people are on Facebook and on the news feed. Why is nobody reporting on this? I'm like, why are you getting your news from this venue? Why is this your first look? And it's because it's so immediate, and we don't have another way to get unbiased news. Everything is the right or the left. There's no this is what's going on. So that's why for a lot of us, we watch Canadian news and English news.
Yeah. I won't be watching US news anymore.
Yeah.
You get the highlights of the most important things that are going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have friends who are newscasters in this country, and a lot of them, like one of my close friends was reporting on all of the disasters and started going down this spiral. He won't do it anymore. He's like, just tell me a story about somebody in the community that brings you hope and all this stuff. And he's like the Mr. Rogers. It's like, look to the helpers. It's if you're focusing on all the negative stuff and there's nothing, I don't want to say clean your palate, but just kind of bring you back to center. There's no way to bring you back to center. And how can we do that? My cousin is trans, and I've told this to Betty before, and he's afraid to travel, and he lives in Alabama.
Oh my goodness.
So, and that's where he transitioned. And I'm like, whatever I can do. And I just worry all the time. I think that he's in a safe place. I mean, I'm sure he's in a safe place because he wouldn't be if he wasn't, and surrounded by family and has a loving partner and all this stuff. But I worry every day. I worry every day that some crazy person who just has something up their butt is going to go take a point, and hurt the people that I love personally. I mean, it's bad enough when it's in the community, but it's getting too close to my home. It's kind of like growing up Jewish, and we looked at all the videos of the Holocaust. It's like, that was my family too. It's like, you're going after the people that I love. And how do I stop that? I feel like I have no power. So that rabbit hole and that what is the spiral is hard to get out of.
Yeah.
So you shut down. So, and I don't want to be that person that shuts down. I want to be available to help when I can, to listen all the time, but I feel super helpless. Like if the only way to make this different is to vote these people out, I only have one vote. And sometimes I think my vote even counts. Sometimes I'm not sure it does, because I don't know what they're doing with my vote. So, how much of it is waiting for some government overthrow, and what's that going to look like here? That'll be interesting.
That'd be a civil war.
We've had one of those before.
Yeah.
The difficulty with having something like that go on in these days is the diversity, which I just heard this morning from our Secretary of War, that diversity is not our strength. That sent alarm bells. He said that in his speech to the Navy. So, and also we've got the federal government federalizing state national guards now, which, okay, there are reasons for that. It'll work its way through our court system.
Oh, the war-torn Portland?
Yes, but even in Chicago.
Yeah.
Chicago.
And in Portland, you have to be doing acrobatics to get around the truth.
Yeah.
The judge in Portland, who was appointed by Donald Trump, basically put a stay on federalizing Oregon's National Guard. So what did the administration do? And I'm not saying Trump, because I'm sure it's someone underneath him that made this happen. They're bringing guard troops from Texas
and California
and California into Oregon. That's pitting Texas U.S. citizens against Oregonians. Kind of sounds like the beginning of a civil war to me.
Yeah.
But the courts are going to have to answer that. And then the administration is going to have to obey the Supreme Court if it finds on the side of democracy and states' rights. And I never thought as a liberal I would be talking about states' rights in this context. You know, normally it's the people who wanted the Confederacy to survive. We're talking about states' rights. But yeah, to have the California National Guard federalized and to go into attack. I mean, what is this, a football game? You know, it's not Oregon State and Washington State. It's the Oregon National Guard and the California National Guard. I wonder if they're going to have a marching band at halftime.
Back to what Marla was saying about not knowing what to do.
Yeah.
That's extremely common right now. I have no idea what you guys can do politically. Because I mean, here in Canada, we can have a vote of non-confidence and throw our government out. Like if they have a specific type of bill, it's usually budget, and they can't pass it, we don't shut down. We throw the government out and do a vote.
Yeah.
But what we can actually do in the meantime is build community, is to keep in contact with, to build contacts and keep in contact, especially with people who are at risk.
Yeah.
The trans people, the gender variant people, the queer people. And if you have contacts or can build contacts with people who have resources, have money, have places that, you know, access to places where people can get to and be safe, have a survival list ready that you can hand out to people that shows like shelters and resources and, you know, food banks. And if somebody needs to get out of a situation, show them the way that they can do that. We need to build organizations and community so that people have that sense of belonging, so they don't feel lost. Like you said, Marla, you don't know what to do. You don't, like, most people are like that right now. Most people they feel off center. They don't feel like they've got their balance, and that's intentional.
There was the No Kings protest a couple of months ago, and there's another one coming up in the next 2 weeks. I think it's the 18th.
Yeah.
And I think about, that's a really empowering thing to be around all those people, and also very scary because I feel like you're just an easy target for somebody driving by with an AR-15. So as much as I appreciate and applaud people who attend those protests, I'm really afraid of them. I mean, I did the Million Moms March, and I did the Pussy March in 2012. Is that what it was? 2012?
Yeah, I think
right?
so.
Yeah. I did those, and I thought, I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe in public, in a crowd of people where there's so much, where the opposition is so volatile and violent. And not unlike my cousin who doesn't want to travel because they don't feel safe. I don't feel safe.
Yeah.
And I feel really guilty about that.
Don't feel guilty.
Don't feel guilty.
Protect yourself so you can help others.
Well,
yeah.
But what about the people who are brave enough to stand out there? I mean, I'm embarrassed to say that out loud, that I'm too scared to be at a protest. I mean, I grew up around protests. My generation, I'm older than you are, Meshe, was protesting Vietnam War forever, and that was not scary. It's scary now.
And that's not anything to be ashamed of, though. I'm afraid to go to the US right now for a number of reasons. That's not something I'm ashamed of.
Well,
that's reality.
You're safe at my house.
I'm not safe getting across the border, though.
I understand, but if you get to my house, you're safe here.
Right.
So
But
I know you have,
what I'm saying is
understand. Yeah.
I understand that fear, and
Yeah.
it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's based in reality.
Uh.
When your fear is based in reality, it's a protection.
But
It's a
they're
way to
using that
protect
as
you.
that's the power that they're wielding. It's like, well, we're going to make them so afraid that they're going to be too afraid to do anything. And I don't want to be that afraid that I'm not going to be able to stand up against the bully. But I don't have a gun, and I'm not. If it's a bully with a gun, it just I got
Yep.
nothing, and
Yeah.
I'm not into weapons. So, but I people who protect them. So
I went to the store today to get some stuff because I'm finishing my Halloween display and I want it lit. So I got some solar lights. Anyway, long story. Went to the store to get some things to get the new camera we're using tonight or today. And I was thinking about the same thing when I was getting dressed to go to Fred Meyer. I'm very well known in the community, and Bellingham is a very, now it's a very liberal town. It hasn't always been that way. So this is what I wore.
Nice.
I
Gay
love
as
it.
fuck.
I love it.
I'm in a little situation different than Marla.
yeah,
I have experienced more in my 70 years on this planet than most people do in lifetimes. From a Pentecostal, Western Pentecostal Bible College in Clayburn, British Columbia graduate, when I was trying to pray the gay away and become a pastor because that's where my heart is. My heart is with community and people. I've gone from that gamut to arguably one of the best known drag queens in the state of Washington, if not more, if not farther. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm 70 years old. If somebody offs me at a rally, I've had an amazing life. So why should I not stop being who I am? And, if they're going to shoot me, here's the target. I am not going to stop being Betty. I'm not going to stop being part of the community who loves me. Now, there are people in Bellingham who probably don't, but I have a large contingent of people who consider me an icon in this city. And I am not going to stop Betty in public because of whom I consider people who have hijacked Christianity for their own monetary well-being and power. I can't do that.
yeah.
So what? So people will be able to have a celebration of life for me 10 or 15 years earlier than they would. They'll be younger, they'll be able to enjoy it better. So, I'm not going to stop being Betty, and I'm not going to stop being me, and I'm not going to be stopped seen in public in drag to placate people who have stolen Christianity and stolen Jesus and are using that for their own benefit and well-being. No, not going to happen. That can be edited out if you think it's necessary, Marla, but
I think that was beautifully said, and
it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
No one's shoving me back in the closet. Those are my clothes, and Betty has way too many dresses for this body to fit in.
I know.
I'm agitated.
I know. I don't want to do this to your blood pressure.
I took an extra pill. We're cool.
Did you? Okay.
Here, something, Marla, we live in an area that has for the last 25 years or so, has been a bubble of normalcy is what I'm going to say.
Right.
So we
the way
don't
things
have
should
much
be
to worry about as my youngest, who is in Spokane. Now, Spokane also has that bubble.
Well,
but when you leave the bubble, there's the issue.
Yeah.
So, but no, they're going to try to make, well, they've already tried to make drag queens groomers right?
Yeah.
You've seen how I groom, Marla. I barely brush my hair. I mean, I'd rather put on a wig. You know, I don't go buy Abercrombie and Fitch, basically, because they don't make my size.
Yeah,
But still, groomer, please. I'm an entertainer.
I know.
And so is every other single drag queen that I know. And
know.
I know hundreds of them, if not more. So no, we need to stand up against this hijacking of Christianity, because there are good and wonderful Christian people in this country.
Yeah. Yep.
Many, many, many of them. More of them than there are of those who support what's going on in this country. Many who don't say, well, the prosperity doctrine. Many who don't believe that if you are a follower of Jesus, we will know that because of the size of your bank account and the square footage of your home.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I am so worried that I'm just going over the top and ranting.
You are, but that's valid.
Yeah.
It's valid. I mean, I kind of knew this conversation was going to go in this direction today. And
I had a feeling too.
Yeah. So
it's devastating to see how far we've come and how quickly things have turned around and not in the right way.
I said,
go ahead.
I said, politicians, like presidents, can basically pass anything that they want in their second term. Because the reason that they don't pass things in their first term is because it might upset their voting base. But when they don't care about getting reelected, they can practically do whatever they want. And then when you have a rule breaker in there, or somebody who doesn't pay attention to the norms of the way that government is run, like the standards that people have lived up to that may not be documented, but the way that the country was run for, over 2 centuries.
149 years and 3 and 6 months, right?
Yeah.
It's 150 coming up.
Yeah, like you end up with a president who can do anything he wants with no fear of not getting reelected. Was that when I said during his first term, I was like, if he gets reelected, watch out, because he's got nothing to hold him back.
Well, and now then he had 4 years to gear up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, that was interesting. A little bit more. What do we normally ask? Some of our questions.
So her normal questions are super like benign compared to this conversation. So one of our questions is, what was your queer aha moment? When did you know growing up that you were headed, how do I word this? That you were queer?
Well, there's when I knew I was a girl. That was about 6 years old. I realized when I was about 16 that was something I was going to have to do, but massively repressed it. When I moved out of my parents' house, I decided to move into downtown Vancouver to be close to work, where my work was. So I moved within like a 15-minute walk, and I happened to move on to Davie Street, which is the gay district in Vancouver.
Did you know that at the time?
It wasn't really a big thing in my head at the time. Like, it didn't really register very much, but I worked with queer people, lived in the gay village, and all of a sudden I realized, yeah, this is a thing that this is possible. This is something I can do. And yeah, I started a transition, and over many years, my queer identity has solidified, but yeah, mostly mostly trans, and it was not long after I moved out of my parents' house.
Do you feel like you have family support?
Yes, I do. My mom is probably my mom is one of my best friends.
That's nice. You're very
Yeah.
lucky.
My dad as well. We had a couple of years um of a rough patch, but they came around, and yeah, me and mom are very close now. Dad passed a few years ago.
It was great to see your mom at the show on Thursday.
Yeah, she got up and danced the time warp.
Yep, it was wonderful.
She had a great time.
I'm gonna miss her. I'm gonna have to go up and visit.
I'll go
Yeah,
up with you.
we'll go find a
drive
drag
it.
show.
If I do, I'll cross the border and drag and see how that works. I've done that before, and it was
You'll be
never a
fine.
problem.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Going in, coming home, I might have some issue, but
Why would you have an issue coming home? Those are our people, right?
because I don't know, but it's always in. That's not entirely true. There was one time we got taken into the waiting room, but that was because we somehow got in the wrong lane because I was using my enhanced card, and uh, another individual who was with me was using his passport. I don't remember the circumstances, but I was in a nice long floral print and my traditional Winnie 150 red wig that I don't have anymore. I looked fabulous in the waiting room. And it really wasn't bad. They just had to check some things out. But there has been times when I've crossed the border and dragged. One of the last times, back probably around 2012 or so, I was ready to pull out from where they check your ID, and the border guard said, "Have a nice night, Betty."
Nice.
So that's what happens when you're in a border crossing and you literally live 2, 3, 4 miles away. Or, I wasn't up in Kendall then, but even living in Bellingham, going back and forth.
Yeah.
It's when my grandmother writes in her diary about helping the raspberry farmers in their harvest in 1923, no work permit, nothing. Um, it was just neighbors helping neighbors because otherwise the berries would rot.
Right.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter if those berries were going to a processing plant in Abbotsford or a processing plant in Linden,
Hmm.
Or who was picking them?
or who was picking them.
Yeah. Just walk up across the border at that time, and
I went to Bible college. I came through the Aldergrove crossing weekly. I knew the border guards by first name.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, you
it
wouldn't have any
hurts
problems
to lose
getting
that
up here.
closeness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's even harder to hear our leaders offend our Canadian neighbors as often as they do and do threats like you're going to become our 51st state.
Oh my gosh.
That's keeping a lot of people at home here.
That and as it should. If the tables were turned and Canada was in the economic position and military position that the US is, if the tables were reversed, we would be just as upset.
Yeah.
And a gentleman who occupies the Oval Office of the White House should be intelligent enough to realize that.
Yeah.
Unless he just doesn't give a shit. Or unless he's serious about trying to overcome Canada's independence. I want to be wrong, but logically, that's how it looks and sounds.
Quacks
I'm
like a
just
duck.
kidding. We would never do that to you. We're just kidding. We're just kidding you
Quacks like a
about
duck.
becoming the 51st state. I don't think so.
Yeah.
And again, I'm ranting. Damn it.
No, I talked to a friend of mine today and said they used to go across like once or twice a week, picking up packages, doing shopping. They haven't been across since the election, and they don't have any plans to. And even if they drop the tariffs on the 51 51st state stuff, and the president apologized for that rhetoric, still wouldn't change their behavior.
Really?
It's
Yeah.
going to take decades, if we ever can, to get back the relationship we had with Canadians first, because that's more important to me. Governments come and go. People and families
Yeah.
continue.
Yeah.
But to get the trust back, I don't know if we ever will. And not just with Canada, all of the European democracies, we have tariff to the hilt. And basically, at the UN, the president insulted everybody there but us.
And embarrassed your country.
And yes, yes. We are systematically being isolated from the rest of the Western democracies and the rest of the world, with the exception of Russia and North Korea, neither who have been tariffed. Yes, there's been sanctions, and maybe there'll be tariffs in the future. But look at our president's best buddies. He calls the head of North Korea Little Rocket Man. He's in at least a verbal love affair until recently with Putin. And Viktor Orban out of Hungary is he just thinks he's the cat's meow. And the thing that all of these three world leaders have in common is that they can do whatever they want. And there isn't anything other than a civil revolution in their countries that can change that.
Yeah.
And that's who he idolizes.
Okay, here's a question for you.
Convince me that I'm wrong.
Do you think that any of those people are on the Epstein files?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you think that's why he's protecting them?
Yes. And I think that's one of the reasons why they don't want to have the shutdown end, because right now there is a elected Democrat representative who would be the 218th signature on the discharge position. She was elected over a month ago, and the Speaker of the House refuses to sign her in, blaming the shutdown for the reason. And as soon as she is signed in, she'll sign that discharge petition. That's where we're at. The government is shut down to stop the Epstein files from being released.
And what do you think?
Somebody prove me wrong.
What do you think the leaders of Russia, North Korea, and Hungary think of Trump?
I think they don't have a lot of respect for him in private, but I think they play to him in public.
I have always said that he's got dirt on everybody.
Putin? Yeah.
No, Trump.
Trump has dirt on everybody?
I thought that Trump had my theory was that he just had dirt on everyone. That's why like all the Republicans vote with him. But I did some research and I actually don't think that's correct anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I don't believe he does. What he has is he has this this big massive whip that you can call MAGA. And it's a giant tool that he can swing around at anybody who pisses him off. That's especially anybody who is running for election in the United States. So if you're in the House or the Senate and you're going to be coming up for re-election, or even if you're in like a state representative and you're coming up for election in the Republican Party specifically, if you piss off Trump, he has the term I think is used is primaried out 200 politicians already that have pissed him off. So he's put somebody else in place to run against that person in the primary and fired up his base against the person that pissed him off.
And the person he puts in place is loyal to him, not to their constituents and not to the Constitution. They may say they're loyal to the Constitution, but like I said earlier, if you apply for a federal job right now, you have a document you have to sign that says you support the president's agenda.
Yeah.
unless they
Is that a new
want to
thing?
remove that.
Is that a new thing? Because I know that in the military, you have to declare something like that. I believe that you
I don't know
will
if they,
honor the commander in chief.
honor is probably a little different, but the military does have to take an oath to the Constitution, not
Yeah.
to the president. And how he gets away, he's now threatening to use the there's a clause, the
Insur-
insurrection
Insurrection.
clause.
Yeah, I saw that
He's
today.
threatening to do that over the war zone in Portland, which is laughable.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't been down in front of the ice building in Portland at night, but maybe I'll take a trip, because when I put videos on my Facebook page about people filming the front of the ice headquarters in Portland, and there were maybe 30 people there, and there was no fires, nothing was burning, you know, no scream. Well, there was one altercation with 3 people. So in the daytime, it's not a war zone. Last I checked, if it's a war zone, it doesn't turn into a farmer's market during the afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did hear that they're planning a naked bike ride down in Portland to ride right past ice.
Nice.
Portland is weird, and I love them for it.
Yeah, stay weird, Portland.
Stay
Really?
weird, Portland. Don't let them turn you into Handmaid's Tale Village.
Seriously. Ugh.
Yeah.
So what else?
So yeah, I don't think that he's got it all. He's got dirt on everyone. I think he's just got a great political machine right now.
Plus, he's got his own television outlet.
Yeah.
So, although they seem to be turning a bit, but that's I don't know. Do you have an extra bedroom where you live in Canada? And are you accepting bed and breakfast reservations?
If there's an emergency, possibly. But yeah, let's see how things are going. We're trying to buy a property, so
Yeah.
I definitely am going to be working on building up some community up here, resources, figuring out what we can do, because there are a couple of instances already where trans Americans have sought asylum up here.
Yes.
And courts have actually blocked deportations, allowing them to stay and go through the process of seeking asylum and actually having a proper court date on that matter.
Nice.
So, yeah, the federal government does realize how bad things are getting down there. But hopefully the people who can stay down there and keep their communities going, and, even if they can't march on the streets, they can, keep people informed and communicating.
That's what I was doing this past summer. Is I was into this dark hole of I can't do anything. I have no power. And so I read someone, I can't remember who it was, said, do what you can in your circle and it'll kind of it'll spread that little way. So that's kind of how this podcast started. Let's do this and give people something to hang on to, some words of support and hope and community and I guess just hope when you feel hopeless.
It isn't all doom and gloom. I may be sounding a little more doom and gloomy than normal, but
you are today. It's kind of getting me down, buddy.
I'm sorry, because there is hope. There are more people who believe, like we used to be taught, that America was a melting pot of ideas. And
back in the day,
America was a melting pot of ideas, ethnicities, and spiritual beliefs. And now we have one group who is in charge of the federal government that wants to change that.
My way or the highway, yep.
Yeah, either you believe the way we believe or find another place to live. Or shut your mouth and don't say a word.
What is it?
And none of
Send
those
us your
options
poor.
are,
Then as you're tired, you're poor, your huddled masses longing to be free.
and we will
Yeah.
fill our private prisons with them so that the people who own the prisons can make some cash.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Because it's all about money now. All about money. On the Christian end of things, we have dominionism going on right now, which is the belief that Jesus can't return until a specific form of Christianity controls the U.S. government.
Really?
Yes, it's called dominionism, and Jesus won't return until the modern dominionist. There's a book about it. I'll
Okay.
get the title of the book. We can add it if we want to. I haven't read it yet because I tried and I just can't. Um, and then we have the prosperity doctrine, which when I was in Bible college in 1976, we were fighting against. And that is basically boiled down to the point where if you will know a good Christian because if you worship the Lord and you're a good Christian, he will bless you with finances. Literally, you can tell a good Christian
Because they got
by the
money.
car they drive, the size of the house they have, and their bank account. I'm not kidding.
Prosperity gospel.
Yes, I'm not kidding. Now, that's the bare bones stripped away form. It's all dressed up something different. And the televangelists say, send us $5 and the Lord will multiply it in your bank account 100-fold. Put it on your credit card if you don't have it in cash. I'm telling the truth. You can watch Kenneth Copeland any Sunday and hear it. Which
Yeah.
I used to watch, by the way.
Why?
I used to contribute to the 700 Club when it was on TV.
Oh,
Yeah, they got a lot of my money.
Oh, what is this, Mishi?
That's the document on the Government of Canada website about people who want to come into Canada who are LGBTQ and are not safe where they are.
They're actually allowing us to go then.
Yeah. There's information on there about whether you would qualify, but yeah, I don't know all the details, but it is officially on our government's website.
Did you
What was
just
it we
send that
read
to me?
about the 800 number or the emergency number that was closed down? I don't know if this was true or not, but then the LGBTQ youth were told to call the Canadian hotline. Do you remember that? That was like a couple months ago.
Yes. Yes. There's an 800 number now, and the Canadian hotline will take the calls, is what I heard. Do
Is
you know
that
anything about that, Mishi?
I heard that your federal government, I'm gonna not you guys, your federal government was shutting down, I think, the 988 suicide
Yeah.
crisis line.
Yes.
I had not heard about it being redirected to Canada though, or
I think it wasn't redirected, but they were giving people the Canadian number.
Yeah. If as an option to call.
that's good news.
Definitely.
Fix
Okay,
it.
breathe.
Fix it.
I think we just need to stick together.
Well, that is very true. We need to stick together and stay vocal.
I'm sorry that you don't feel safe coming down here. Thank you for being part of this conversation, and please know that we're always listening. Well, I'm always listening. Betty's always talking, but I'm always listening.
Yeah,
Betty and I have a lot of energy on this, and she's way more verbal than I am. I just get really frustrated and frozen. So
I spent a lot of my life being frustrated and frozen.
yeah,
I try to stay level-headed, but I'm not being able to do that over this.
yeah.
I don't respect people who would take another group. I guess I have to be, physician heal yourself first, because I said a lot of negative things about Christian folk. But in my defense, that Christianity isn't what I learned.
Right.
And the words of Jesus don't back up what I see coming out of the mouths of people who are pretending to speak his truth.
Yeah. What I've noticed that there are
I-
people who are verbal about it, who are Christians, who are strongly saying queer is bad. Then there's Christians who are saying queer is fine. And then there's a lot of Christians who are not weighing in on it. Not really.
Absolutely true. Absolutely. It
And
is
then,
a
so
minority.
it's like, where's that voice that I don't want to get involved, but it doesn't bother me. There's a lot of that. There's a
It's
lot
a-
of that.
You're right. It's a minority of those who call themselves Christians who believe the way we are seeing blasted all over the United States media.
Yeah.
It's also a minority that support authoritarianism in the United States government. All you need is a big enough minority to change things. You don't need a majority to run a government in our system.
Right.
You just need a big enough minority to stunt everything that you don't like.
Yeah. So this is our way of stunting, right?
Yeah.
We're doing stunting tea with Betty Desire.
Oh, that would be a good title for this particular episode, Stunting Tea.
Stunting tea.
Well, I am drinking my tea here,
So
so
I love your cup.
Yay!
That's awesome. Can you bring it closer to the camera? I speak only to the dog before Robbie.
Oh, can I make a shameless commercial plug?
Could I stop you?
No, you could edit me out later. But if you want a Spilling Tea with Betty mug,
Where is it? Show us. Go get it.
I will. One moment, please. Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay.
How did you meet Betty, Marla?
How did we meet? So, God, my daughter was in the Rocky Horror with Betty one year for Halloween. And then my son, so in Bellingham, they do a senior project. And my son did a project called the Gay Bash. And it was during the first National Coming Out Day back in 2011.
Oh,
and
wow.
he produced a performance night of all queer performers.
Oh, very cool.
And I think is that how we met? Was it because of Caleb or because of Zoe? Do you remember?
You know, it might have been Zoe.
Okay. Yeah, Zoe's my daughter. Caleb was my son. But both my kids were brought up to be very open. I tell the story all the time. We were driving back from some friends who live in Los Angeles, and two women, and Kathy gave birth to their daughter, and Julie and I have known each other since junior high school. And so we're driving back in the car, and Zoe says, "Mommy, if Kathy had the baby, why does the baby call Julie mommy?" And I said, "Well, sometimes girls love boys, and sometimes boys love boys, and sometimes girls love girls." She goes, "Oh, were they lesbians?" Now she was 5. So yeah, Zoe, they're lesbians. And I'm sitting there in the car going, okay, we've talked. She clearly is not affected by this. And I started laughing because I felt like I was introducing this concept to her. If I just said they were lesbians, she would have been, okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
But I was trying to explain it to her, but she already knew. So
I
my
had the same experience with kids in the like extended families, children, when I transitioned. They were like, is uncle a girl now? Yeah. Oh, okay.
right.
Move on.
It's so not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's so not a big deal. And it's only a big deal if you make it a big deal.
Prejudice.
It's a big deal if you've been trained for it to be a big
Right.
deal.
If your role models and people around you are just, this is how it is. Oh, their hair was blonde one day, now it's brunette. Okay, so they're no longer going to be known as Jeff. Now they're going to be known as Julie. Oh, okay. All right, fine, whatever. Not a big deal.
Yeah.
And so when people say
People
say how hard it is to change names, and I hear a lot of this from, and I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus here. A lot of my queer friends whose children have transitioned, their biggest issue is changing their kids' names. because giving your kid a name is a real emotional thing. And there's things tied to it, not just like, it's not like naming a dog or naming a car. It's like you give this person, this human being, a name that they're going to carry through for the rest of their life. And oh, they're willy-nilly changing it. No. I'm sure as much thought went into coming with Meshe as it did with whatever name your parents gave you, or going from my cousin changing their name from one to the other, or any of those things. Anyway, so I just think that's not funny, but ironic when I hear people say, I can't keep up with the pronouns. Seriously? How hard is it?
Or
Come on.
or I don't do pronouns. You
Oh.
just did. The word I is a pronoun.
Oh God.
I can attest to that as my son Pixie. It takes more effort for me to do pronouns if he was not my son, because when I come up with a memory in my brain, my 70-year-old brain, and I'm talking about a time when Pixie was my daughter, I will use the pronoun her, not out of disrespect, but out of what's in my head because of that time period. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But also call people what they want to be called. It's not that difficult. When a girl or woman gets married, if she chooses to take her husband's last
not,
name,
or
that's
not.
not a problem.
Or not.
That's
Yeah.
also not a
Right.
problem.
Exactly.
Somehow it's
Yeah.
a problem. You know, if you meet a friend at school and he says, call me Hank instead of Henry, not a problem.
Not a problem.
As
All of
a
a sudden,
trans
it's a problem.
as a
what?
trans person, I actually ended up having to go through my memories and rewrite my pronouns in them.
That makes sense.
Just so you know, and I only lived as my old gender for 23 years. How long did you know Pixie before you transitioned?
He didn't transition until well into his 30s.
Yeah.
So we're talking about 34 years maybe. He may have started transitioning before I realized it. Because, I can be a little I can be that can happen.
We interviewed a man and woman who both transitioned as adults, like in their 50s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that, transitioning that late in life and going, I mean, and one of them I've only known as a woman. The other one, did I know? Henry, I don't know. I don't know if I've known Hank. I guess I did know Hank before. Yes, I did as a woman. And but now my memory is always like, I think of them always as who they are now. But again, I didn't grow up with them. I didn't, my relationship with them is different. But my cousin, I look back at old pictures of my cousin and I go, he was such a beautiful little girl. He's very handsome now. But I think looking at those pictures, even though it's like pictures with grandparents and family members, I think it's still painful because what they were going through inside, and you can attest to this, Meshe, is what you're looking at, you're remembering that kid. You're remembering that level of discomfort of that human being. That's not what I see. But if I look hard enough, I can see it in the eyes. It's like, that kid was not happy. But I can see that in other pictures of other kids who are going through other emotional stuff. And I look at pictures of my cousin now, and that you can just tell that they're home. That's where they belong. And
Pixie is happier now than, see, there you go. Pixie is happier now than he has ever been in all of the years.
With all the trials and tribulations.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm incredibly proud.
Yeah.
And honestly, between the three of us and anyone who watches this broadcast, I have thought about whether it would be easier for me to transition.
Yeah.
I have. I'm 70 years old, but I'm okay with what I'm doing now. And Betty is an outlet for me and always has been. And Betty also, when I'm Betty, I'm entirely different than when I'm Matt. Is that accurate?
No.
Then I feel
Entirely? Entirely?
not entirely. Entirely is a big
Okay.
word, but you know what I mean. A little more outgoing, a little more vivacious.
Yeah, but still the core of who you are. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
Betty or Matt, but the core of who you are is always the same.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, I agree
But
with
I will
that. I
tell
don't.
you, if I'm tired, I'll throw on Betty, and all of a sudden I have energy again.
Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. Um, this,
Oh yeah. I have one.
Oh, I love it.
Okay, hold the handle. There you go. Good job.
and I got to move it closer to the camera so you can see it.
Look at how pretty. So
Oh, I definitely want one.
these are on what? On Zillow? Not Zillow. That's the
No,
state.
hold on. I'm going to do this. I want to get it close to the camera so you can actually see the. Oh, come
Okay.
on. There.
Yay!
Isn't that great? Isn't that great?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I need
So-
I need that.
If
I
you
took
go,
that picture. I just want to say I took that picture.
yes,
Oh,
Marla took that picture.
Fantastic.
If you go to the website of the Betty Pages, now run by my incredible graphic designer, there is a merchant area, and it's the bettypages.gay. And if you click on the merchant area, you can get everything that you can get these Spilling Tea with Betty Desire cups, and there's tote bags.
I need a sweatshirt.
and
I need to get a sweatshirt.
sweatshirts
Yeah.
and all sorts of merch. You can also get I Did the Time Warp with Betty Desire shirts. It's
Oh, you can get that
it's
for your mom.
yeah, it's way cool. It's a little merchant store, and it's delivered right to your door.
Oh, and
So
you've
you
got
can watch
patches
the
and
Betty Desires podcast,
Mhm.
Spilling Tea with Betty Desire, and sip on coffee with a cup.
Perfect. That was a lovely ad.
love it.
I'm just going to turn that into an ad for the page.
That works for me. Meshe, we should talk to you about how we can get more hits on the podcast
Yeah,
sometime in the
definitely.
future.
I did not know it existed. So yeah, we need to change that.
There you go. And in the future, maybe you can be our Canadian correspondent, and we'll connect with
Ooh.
you on a regular basis.
Oh, yeah. That'd be
That
great.
could be fun.
That could be fun.
Yes, it really
Yeah.
could.
Yeah.
Well, anything else you'd like to say?
No, it's been a huge change. I did some grieving while I was down in Whatcom because it's been my second home. I hope that we can all get through this together, even apart.
Yeah.
You know what we could do? We could make our goodbyes from now next year in paradise.
Mhm.
Paradise, where you used to live.
Where you had your camping spot.
Next year from Paradise?
Next year in paradise, like gathering next year in paradise. And if that doesn't happen, we'll say gathering next year in paradise.
Yeah, there you go. That'll be our
Oh.
wish. Next year in paradise.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. I love you, dear.
Gotta have something to look forward to. I love you too, dear.
Absolutely true.
It was really nice to meet you. Thank you for spending
really-
your time with us.
It was really great to meet you too, Marla.
And we will meet in person soon, I'm sure.
Yes, we will.
Absolutely.
I'll drag Betty up to Canada with me. All right. You can
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye.
What a sweetheart.
Yes. And what a tragedy.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you want to do a beginning and an ending, and I'll tag them on and say today our guest is going to be, and today our guest was?
I don't know Mishi's last name. We've never done last names.
But you don't have to say his last name. Her last
Okay.
name. Sorry.
And you know what? I had totally forgotten Mishi had transitioned.
Because you only knew me, she is a girl.
Yes. And she didn't say, but Mishi's partner recently transitioned. Her name is Wendy.
Oh,
So,
that's nice.
all right. So, what are we going to do as the beginning? It's been so long since we've done a recording.
Yeah. Say, welcome to this edition of Spilling Tea with Betty Desire.
All right. Tell me when, dear.
Anytime. Go.
Welcome to this edition of Spilling Tea with Betty Desire. Today, we are interviewing a very dear friend of mine for over 25 years, Meshe. And Meshe is going to tell her story. I hope you enjoy.
Okay. And then for the end, say, today our guest was.
Today, our guest was Meshe. Thank you for listening to Spilling Tea with Betty Desire. Please, if you have any comments or questions, email us at bettydesire@gmail or at spilling tea. I'm going to do that over. Spilling tea with Betty Desire at Gmail. Right?
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you for listening to this episode of Spilling Tea with Betty Desire. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to contact us at spillingteawithbettydesire@gmail.com. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.
I think what I might do is break this in two pieces because I can only upload videos to the YouTube page that are less than an hour, and it's an hour and a half. So just say we're going to take a break now for part one of this edition of Spilling Tea with Betty Desire. And then we're going to just do back to part two of Spilling Tea with Meshe. We do that?
We're going to take a break now on Spilling Tea with retake. We're taking a break now on Spilling Tea with Betty Desire. And please listen to part two of Spilling Tea with Betty Desire interviewing Meshe.
Meshe.
We're going to take a break now. Damn it. You can always keep the bloopers on.
We need a blooper reel.
Yeah, we do. All right. This is the end of part time. This is the end of part one of Spilling Tea with Betty Desire featuring Meshe. Please look for part two in the very near future. See you next time.
Okay. Then do welcome to part two.
Okay. Welcome to part two of Spilling Tea with Betty Desire, featuring an interview with one of my dearest friends, Meshe, from Canada.
Perfect. All right. So let's talk about this afternoon at 4:30. Where Elizabeth is doing this.
Yes.
Did you send Elizabeth a link?
I did.
What link did you send her? This one?
Yes.
Okay. I think it'll work.
And she's ready to go.
All right.
And then Kendall will be sitting next to me at the table here.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, go take a break, drink some water. You did a lovely job.
You will edit profusely so that some of my anger doesn't forward.
Do we want to get in trouble? Do we want to get Jimmy Kimmeled? I think we want to get Jimmy Kimmeled.
Okay. Nothing I said was wrong.
No.
And, if I'd be the first one to apologize if someone proves me wrong.
Okay.
So, I've had to take down things on Facebook and apologize because what I posted when I fact checked it was somebody's joke. Not joke, but, purposely misleading stuff.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. No, but that happens on the internet all the time.
Yeah, I know. Hey, handsome.
Hi.
So at 4:30, dear, you'll be sitting with me and Elizabeth will be on Zoom at your place.
Sounds like a deal.
Perfect.
All right. I
And
may
this-
leave all that stuff in just because
Okay.
I can.
Well, you have the authority to do whatever. You're the editor.
All right.
And I tried to keep it cool, calm, and collected, but this is hard when it becomes.
I know this is a very emotional issue for you, and I get it. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
I actually was going to ask if we could interview my oldest, dearest gay friend, John.
Absolutely.
He lives in Miami.
Excellent.
He and his husband, Ed. I have not asked him yet. I don't know if he'll be willing to do it just because he's very, for a theater person, he's very shy, but he's just lovely and just wonderful. So anyway.
I've already put word out to the director of Rumors at 40. It's
Ryan?
not Ryan. I want to get Ryan and Andrew on for an interview as well
Yeah.
to talk about how they have set up the bar so that after they're gone or not interested in running a bar, it will still remain in community hands. And also about the documentary and Rumors 40 years of being our safe
When
space.
is that coming out?
It came out already, but it was a premiere. You wit gone. You were still on vacation.
Oh,
But it's going to be shown both here. I thought I wrote this to you in an email, but I might not have. I actually talked to the director, and she's going to give me a flash drive of it.
who is the director?
I don't know her last name, and for the life of me, I can't remember her first name right now. Allie. Alyssa. Alyssa is her first name. I'll get
Not Alyssa Flood. Alyssa Flood?
I don't know her business that she did the filming under. I don't know for sure. I'll get that information for you, but I want to get her on, and she's going to give me a flash drive, and I want to see if we can put I've already got permission from Andrew and Ryan, put the documentary on our Spilling Tea podcast.
I don't have an email from you about this at all.
Okay, then I'll have to send it to you. But it's going to be shown at the Pickford. They were talking about that a couple nights ago when we saw it.
Okay.
And I will have a flash drive in my possession before the end of the week.
Okay.
And once I get that flash drive, if we can figure out if it's going to be a 3-part series documentary. This is part 1.
Oh, okay.
And it's interviews from all the old guard from the old bar, and there's pictures, and it's just, Marla, it is incredibly professionally done. It's just wonderful. And it really needs to get out to as many smaller cities as possible. It's going to be in the I'm going to try to help her get it into a lot of the film.
Well, it's a full-length film, not a documentary, or it's a documentary. She could have submitted to Cascadia right now. Their submissions are open.
Oh, well then
but it's only for female. It's only for female directors.
And she is a female. She did it all. She's a female director. She also came out during the process.
Wow.
So yeah.
Interesting.
I need to get a hold of her, and can you email me the information?
I will. I'll send you.
And then I will get it to Andrew,
her.
who can get it to her. Because it needs to be in as many film festivals as we can possibly get it in.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there a cost to?
I think there's a cost to upload it to Film Freeway, but I'm not sure what that is. I don't know. Every festival is different. Mine, I think, to upload my film, I think cost, I want to say $50.
Oh yeah. Well, if there's a problem with that, I'm more than willing to help front the cost of it.
I don't think it's more than that, but I don't remember because I'm old and I forget things. All right. So I will see you in a couple hours. actually.
Yep.
Is
Lunch
it
break.
3:30? So 1 hour. I'll see you in an hour.
We have an hour. Yeah.
All right. See you then.
Love you.
Love you. Bye,
Bye-bye.
Kendall. See you later.
Bye, see ya.